Hi, I'm Mandy Potter, and you're Cooking with Healthy Girl. The weather's starting to get cold, and when it does, my husband instantly starts asking for soup. So today, I'm going to show you how to make one of our family favorite soups, baked potato soup. Now this soup is thick and creamy, and we put cheese in it and bacon in it. But don't worry, we're going to watch our calories on it. And along the way, I'm going to show you tips on how to keep those calories down. So we're going to get started. Okay, now to get us started, I have canola oil and butter in here, and I've got the butter melted down. Now this is going to save us a lot of calories and fat by using some canola oil instead of all butter, but it's still going to keep that creaminess in there. Then I'm going to add my onions, and we're going to get these all nice and tender. And I've got one whole onion that I just added. I'm just going to get them all coated in the butter and get them nice and tender. And that's going to add a lot of flavor to this soup. Okay, now that I've got my onions tender, I am going to add my flour. Now I did a whole wheat and all-purpose flour. So we're getting some extra fiber added in there rather just doing an all-purpose flour. And I'm going to get that all mixed up in there, get it all coated all over the onions. And then I'm going to add my broth. Now my broth, let me make a nice sizzle, like that. This is a chicken broth. You can use beef broth if you have that open. And I get a reduced sodium one and the fat-free one. Now to give it that creaminess that I was talking about, we are going to add some half and half. Now this is fat-free half and half, and I promise you're not going to miss it. It's the fat in this cream. And this is really where we're going to be cutting the calories. And then I'm going to put my salt and pepper. Of course, I measured my salt and pepper out. This is all we're going to be adding in. It's just going to be 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt and 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper. And then I'm going to add my potatoes. Now I've already baked my potatoes and cut them up a little bit. We're going to process them here soon. I'll show you how we do that. I'm just going to mix those in. Now I'm going to bring this to a boil, and then I'm going to reduce my heat and get this all processed and pureed. Okay, now that I've brought it to a boil and I've been letting it simmer, I'm going to blend it up with my immersion blender. If you don't have one of these, you can always pour it into a blender, but make sure you put the cover on top, because anytime you're blending hot liquids, it can burst out at you. But I'm going to use my immersion blender right here in my pot, and I'm going to get this all blended. All right, now that I have it all processed and it's nice and thick, we're going to add some good stuff into it. I've got some cheese, and we're just going to add all this in. I'm going to throw cheese everywhere in here. And bacon. What goes better with potatoes than bacon? Now that's my center cut bacon that I've already cooked up. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this all in here and let it melt down and sit for about 10 minutes on very low heat. It's nice and hot already, so this is all going to get nice and melted pretty quick. Now we have our soup all nice and creamy and hot and ready for us to eat, but I'm going to add one more flavor to it, just because flavor is very important when we cut back calories. So I'm going to put it into my bowl, and then I'm going to show you something that adds flavor. All right, some green onions. What goes better with baked potatoes than green onions? And you're just going to sprinkle a little bit on top, and there you go. You have a nice soup with green onions and thick and creamy and cheesy and bacon. Look for this recipe and many more in my cookbook, Cooking with Healthy Girl, Everyday Recipes Made Healthy. You'll find 4 weeks of menus and grocery list along with a helpful staples section. And don't forget, log on to my website, cookingwithhealthygirl.com, where you'll find more recipes, more videos, and lots of helpful information.